Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe, the British-Iranian woman who was released in March after being held in Iran for 6 years on spying charges, has told the BBC that a British government official had stood by while the Iranians forced her to sign a false confession as she prepared to fly home. She said she signed the statement under duress after being told that the Iranian authorities would not allow her to leave unless she did so. Our diplomatic correspondent Caroline Hawley has the story.
Relief all round as Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe and fellow hostage Anoosheh Ashoori arrived back in the UK in the early hours of a March morning. To secure their release, the UK had finally settled a long-standing military debt. But Nazanin has now revealed there was another condition for her release.
I was made to sign the forced confession at the airport in the presence of the British government. Whereas...
Can we just pause on that? So that before you left Iran?
Before I left Iran, at the airport.
You had to...
I had to sign it.
Otherwise you wouldn't have been able
They told me
leave.
that you won't be able to get on the plane. And I knew that that was like a last-minute game because I knew they told me that they have been given the money. So what is the point of making me sign a piece of paper which is incorrect? It's a forced confession.
To all the things they had been accusing you of.
Exactly. And also the British government not questioning it, why I have to do it.
You can see the Foreign Secretary in the background of this family video at RAF Bryce Norton.
Their release is the result of years of tenacious British diplomacy.
But now Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe's MP says Liz Truss needs to set out in Parliament what she knew about the forced confessions. In a letter to the Foreign Secretary made public tonight, Nazanin's lawyers say to be told to sign a false confession by her own government after all she'd survived was deeply distressing to her. The UK's actions would have appeared to Iran as the UK agreeing to play by its rules. This emboldens Iran to continue its abuse in other cases. Murad Tabaz, an environmentalist born in West London, is still in jail in Iran, though he was supposed to have been released as part of the deal. In fact, he was allowed out of jail for just 48 hours. His daughter told me that he and the family are devastated, that the UK should have stood its ground and insisted that he too come home.
I think it's also, to a certain extent, a sort of betrayal because we were always consistently assured by every foreign secretary that's been in place, as well as the Prime Minister himself, that my father was going to be treated equal to all of the UK hostages that were being held in Iran. And he was the only UK-born one, but he was also the only one that they chose to abandon, and he's still there waiting to come home to us.
The reunions that did take place were filled with joy, but now come questions about what preceded them.
All the forced confessions that we have been exposed to, they have no value. They are just propaganda for the Iranian regime to show how scary they are and they can do whatever they want to do.
The Foreign Office says Mrs Zaghari-Ratcliffe was put through a horrendous ordeal right up to the moment she left the country, and it's urged Iran to end its practice of unfairly detaining British and other foreign nationals. Caroline Hawley, BBC News.